was like, how did this happen? It's pretty unlikely that you're going to have like a PhD in data science and machine learning learn magic. So I met Till, who it turns out was his tutor for the previous several months. I thought I'd started way too many companies because this is the third company I've been involved in starting. Till has started 7 companies. So I'm really excited to introduce Till. I hope you guys have a great time. I hope you learn as much from him as I did, because as I was talking to him, there's as much to take away in business as there is in entertainment from what he has learned over the years. And I need you all to stand up and give a rousing applause to my friend, Till Haunschild.
Good. So before we start, I have to tell you that my name is pronounced Till Haunschild. Most Americans pronounce it Haunschild. And to give you an explanation, Haun is the prefix for hitting hard. So one of my ancestors was a shield smith and not a child beater. Okay? Just to get that correct. Right now you're probably thinking, okay, mildly entertaining magician and entrepreneur, is he selling balloon animals over the internet? Oh my God, what are his parents thinking? I tell you. So it was about 17 years ago, I sat my parents down and I said the following. I said, Mom, Dad, I love you. You know something bad is coming, right? So, Mom, Dad, I don't want to disappoint you, but I don't want to become a professional magician. Maybe you need a little bit of context here. My father is a magician, and since I was 5 years old, he took me with him, he levitated me, he saw me in half. You still can see the scars here. And he always wanted me to follow in his footsteps. But right after school, I wanted to do something real with my life, something meaningful, so I studied physics. But I quickly realized how much magic can offer, how important the psychology and the skills of magic are in everyday life and in business. So enough about me. Today is all about you and how you can profit from magic. Let me start with my favorite trick. Here we have a Red Bull can. I don't know if you know that in Germany we have this quite high deposits on cans. So one can is 25 cents, no 29 cents, sorry, 29 cents deposit on the can. So the deposit is way higher in most cases than the content. And you now wonder, why is that the case? Well, we in Germany, we recycle cans. Now, you probably heard of recycling, yes? Okay, good. But you probably never have seen how to recycle a can. Or does anyone know how to recycle? I show you. So, if you have a can, it should be empty, okay? First of all, we need to get rid of the bumps. And please, everybody, concentrate a little bit more from this side, please. Okay, thank you. And from this side, I think, yeah, it's already working. The bumps seem to vanish. Now, the problem still is that we have this hole up there. So we need to get rid of the hole. Just take a napkin and watch carefully. You just have to rub it once, and I think it's already done. So here, you can tap. Okay?
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah. Now, listen. And I think we... do you want to try?
Can you give a drink?
Yeah, sure. Cheers. This was the trick I performed for my wife, or the first trick my wife has seen from me. It was when at our first date we went to a club and she asked me to get her something to drink. And I just reached down, grabbed an empty can that was lying around and refilled it. In that moment, my wife was speechless for the first time that evening, and I took the opportunity and kissed her the first time. So that's why this is my favorite trick. Magic needs these awe moments. These moments where the spectator expects something, but cannot believe that it will actually happen. I think magic is the exact opposite of a good joke. In a joke, you know, you don't expect something to happen, but you understand, and therefore it's funny. And in magic, you expect something to happen, but don't understand, and therefore it's magical. Yes? So, and most people think magic is all about the not knowing. But I think it's more about this expectation building. You need to get to the point where the people say, or the audience says, no way. And actually he did with the Red Bull can trick, was right before I opened the can. It was, no way, that cannot be real. And then you go on and show that it actually happened. So, and I think it's also important for business. If you present something, don't go for the punchline, for the details and the technical aspects of your presentation, but try to build this expectation to a point where you get this no way moment. I wanted to share with you a story about this expectation building and this no way moment. When we met our first investor, I sat him down in this restaurant. On the other side of the road, there was this big billboard, like in Times Square with a screen. And I sat him down in a way that he was facing the window and seeing the screen, and I was sitting opposed to him. So, and I was talking about this, our idea, and that it would be lovely to just use your hand and swipe the content of the screen. While I was going like this, the screen, the big billboard, was swiping to the side. So I saw the expression on his face. Was it a coincidence? Okay, maybe, yeah. Nothing strange happening here, okay. And so, but it kept happening. While I'm talking about it and said, okay, and you can, with our technology, you can just press a button and the TV turns off or whatever, and it actually happens to the billboard. So I got him to that point where he said, sorry, is this really happening? Can I do that as well? And I said, sure, open your phone, go to this website, choose a picture, and he chose a picture and it appeared on the big billboard. And of course what we did, we booked the billboard for 20 minutes. It did cost us, I think, 800 euros or something, or even more, I don't know, but it was the best investment ever, because on the spot, without even talking about the business and the technical details, he signed the investment agreement. So that was a moment where this, it wouldn't have worked if I just said, okay, here is what we want to do, that's how we build it, and here let me demonstrate. It wouldn't have had the same impact. Because he wouldn't have had this experience of thinking that something amazing is coming his way. Some things have these expectations built right in. For example, this thing. Some of you look excited, most of you look angry just because I am holding one. From childhood flashbacks. Does anyone know how to solve it? Okay, a few of you. Of course you can just solve it by turning it like this, somehow, yeah. But there is a more innovative solution. Anyone knows?
Break it.
Sorry?
Break it.
Yeah, exactly. Or just peel off the stickers and put them back on. As a magician, I found a third, even better solution. All you have to do is you have to look at the tube and hold it in your hand, and if you spin it, it looks like it solves itself. Now I'll wait till you realize that it's actually happened, and then I show it. Okay. Some things don't have this expectation built right in. So you have to use a story to get it out, yeah? to get to this expectation part. For the next thing, I need 5 of you. I'm watching you as you watching me, so I already picked a few. And you, please. So first of all, here we have a lot of different cards. Yes? Now, I get the rubber band around. And in a minute, I will give you the cards. And you just hold it up to yourself, look at one card, and keep it to yourself. Don't look at each other's card, just concentrate on your card, and then give it to the next person.
So just look at it, don't take it.
Yes, just remember it. Because if you don't remember it, the trick will be really shit. So just remember one card, give it to the next person,
Yep.
Don't look at her, yes, and go on. Now, it's called truth or lie, so you might answer truthfully, you can lie. And please lie sometimes because it's funnier that way. Okay, let's start. Okay, hands behind his back, so you're probably starting to lie right away. Okay, a little bit dishonest, but it's okay. Now, was your card red or black?
Red.
Okay, red or black?
Black.
Red or black?
Black.
Red or black?
Black.
And sorry, I didn't ask. But it's okay, it's okay. So which one was it? Okay. Now, was it odd or even?
Even.
Okay. It took a little bit. He was a little bit surprised by the question, so I think it might be a picture card. No, it wasn't. Thank you. Okay. Odd or even? Odd or even?
Even.
Odd or even?
Odd.
And odd or even? Even. Okay. So, quite good. Are you all in sales? Or why are you so good at lying? No. Are you, was it a 5?
No.
Okay. Finally telling the truth. Was it 6?
No.
I don't believe you. Was it an ace?
No.
Okay. Now, I want you to face the audience, and I will go through all of the cards, from ace to king. And most people, when I reach their card, they get a little bit constipated in the face. So try to face the audience and let's try this. Okay, ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, okay, thank you, 7, 8, 9, 10, check, queen, king. Okay, now don't react. I will say 5 cards. Please don't react if I hit yours. So let me get this. I'm thinking it's the 6 of clubs, 8 of diamonds, 10 of diamonds, ace of spades, and jack of clubs. If I hit your card, please sit down. Thank you. Now right away, who thinks he can perform this trick right here? You? Now, I will teach you how it's done. So, this trick is mainly storytelling. It's, if you look at the cards here, then you see that there are always, except the first one, it's always the same 5 cards. It's always 6 of clubs, 8 of diamonds, 9 of diamonds, spades. So it's always the same 5 cards. You see, this trick is all about expectation building. It's about storytelling, and that made it more amazing. I gave you something to believe in. And I could have done the trick in another way, like, look at the cards. Okay, the cards are these 5 cards. And then it wouldn't have had the same impact, because it would have missed this no way moment. And that's the reason why I said, don't react. I say the 5 cards, and then you have this no way moment, where the audience already knows, but cannot believe that it's actually the 5 cards, and then I reveal that it is the 5 cards, and they sit down. I'm always surprised that we as magicians still have a job. Because magic is one of the, it is the second oldest art form, right? Not prostitution. Maybe if you call prostitution an art form, but it's music for the first art form. So magic is a really old tradition, and it's not only ancient, but surprisingly universal. Every known culture in the world has had its place for magic. But still, despite this old tradition, magicians still find ways to innovate and amaze people. We all have these little magic mirrors in our pockets, and no wonder that Arthur C. Clarke famously wrote, any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. And I think that says a lot about us humans, about our minds and perceptions cannot keep pace with the scientific progress. But still, we love the unknown. We love magic, and we love to ask questions. But did you know that asking questions is something very specific to humans? We are the only animal that can ask questions. Even apes that can learn sign language and can answer questions were never observed to ask a question. Now you wonder why this phenomenon might exist. It's because apes don't ask questions because they can't form assumptions about thoughts and perspectives of others. They lack something called metacognition. Metacognition is the ability to think about the process of thinking. Deep, right? So, for example, there was this experiment where the subject, either a 3-year-old child or an ape, 3 scientists and 2 buckets, one filled with candy or food and one empty bucket. And the experiment goes that way that they are all in one room. There's one scientist talking to the subject. One scientist steals the bucket with food, and a third scientist standing in a corner with a bucket over their head, so they can't see anything. So now the question was, to which of the scientists goes the subject after when he wants the food? Yeah? And the 3-year-old child immediately goes to the second scientist who stole the food, because he knows that the person who talked to him couldn't have stolen the food, and the other person didn't see anything, he couldn't have stolen the food either. But the ape, or the apes, went straight to the person with the second bucket on their head. Because they had just referenced, okay, there was a bucket, he has one bucket, he might have the food as well. And that's what animals are lacking. They can't think about what the perspective of the other person might be. And okay, maybe my children, I have 2 boys, twins, might have acted a little bit differently, because funny story, when they were like 2.5 years old, we put them into kindergarten, and one day the teacher approached me and said, "Mr. Haunschild, why are your children always pointing to their ear if they are searching for something?" For example, Adrian came to me today and said, "Ball, ball, ball." And there I realized I shouldn't have done magic for them that early, because my boys learned that if something is missing, just go to daddy and ask him to reach it, get it out of their ears. So, just my recommendation, don't perform magic for children who don't know about object permanence yet. So, yeah. But back to the apes. So apes can't ask questions. They can't take the point of view of another person or another ape. And that's also the reason why apes never can become magicians. Because you see, a magician has a unique dilemma. He's the only person in the room who cannot see the magic, because I know how it works. So in order to amaze and to innovate, I have always to take on the point of view of the audience. It's all about perspective taking. For the next trick, I need one person. Say your name, please.
Supraja, or Sup, as you guys know.
Great, perfect. So Sup will help me to demonstrate how to take the perspective of another person. Now, I brought you one of the best non-fictional books I could find, the Da Vinci Code from Dan Brown. Did you read it, or saw the movie at least?
I've read it.
Okay, perfect. Now, can you check if it's the normal book? Go through. Looks fair?
Normal.
Okay, great. Now, in a minute, listen carefully. In a minute, I want you to open the book at a random page don't go for your favorite chapter, just a random page. And do it while holding up the book so I can see.
Okay.
So, yeah, go for it. Yes, please.
Okay.
Okay, now there should be a lot of words on both pages.
Yes.
Great. Now, I want you to pick one of the interesting long words. Don't go for any character name because I know them by heart. Just pick any interesting long word. Not the end or something, but a long one. And then maybe just pick another one to confuse me.
Okay. Got it.
And when you got it, yes, say it over and over in your head so you don't forget.
Which word? The first word. Okay.
And no, the second one.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. Yes?
Yes.
Just one word.
Okay.
One interesting word. Great. And close the book and put it aside.
Okay.
Good. Now, in 1907, don't forget the word.
Okay.
In 1907, a magician performed this trick, and he made the world believe that he had psychic powers and that he actually could read people's mind. One more thing, don't think anything naughty.
Okay.
Thank you.
Wasn't until now.
Okay, and I don't believe that. I'm probably, as a magician and a scientist, I'm probably the most skeptic person you will ever meet. I don't believe that he actually could read minds. But I wanted to perform this trick more than anything else. So this is what he did. For any scientific study, we need a control group first. You know, when you try to get a new medicine, you have one group that gets the medicine and a control group that just gets a placebo. So you can see if it really works. Now, here, for this experiment, you all are the control group. So please pretend that you can read minds, her mind. Okay? Just pretend for a moment. And I don't want to overwhelm them, so please just think of the first letter of your word.
Okay.
Just the first letter. And now please go like this. And I want you to, in a minute, send out the first letter to everyone. And you guys, please try to receive the letter. Yes? Okay? And maybe go with both hands. It's obviously better for perception.
Okay.
For reception, sorry. Yeah, like this, and all the way over there. Just the first letter. Don't say it. Okay, thank you. Perfect. Now, I want you, in this room, probably about 5 people should get it right. Statistically speaking, of course. So, in a minute, I want you to say just the first letter, and then if she says the letter you received, please stand up so we can count. Okay? Fair? So just the first letter, loud into the mic. Which one was it?
T.
T. Oh.
I have very strong.
11. Ooh, thank you. Thank you. 11. So way above average room. Nice. Okay. My lessons already start working. Now let's do this with me. Can you put down the mic? Look at my hand and fix your gaze here. Thank you. And imagine that the second letter is written down here. Please in uppercase, not lowercase. It made a difference. Thank you. Okay. Look here. And when my hand comes near, the letter gets bigger and big. Okay, thank you. It's, I think, an H. Thank you. Okay. So, for the next part, don't use your fingers. count the syllables in your head, so of the word, the syllables, and when you're ready, say okay. Okay, it might be 3, 4, or 5. If you had to say a number, any number, not the number of the syllables, but any number, which one would you say? 3, 4, 5? Any number?
Of those three?
Yes.
4.
Okay, 1 less than syllables. Okay, thank you. So 3 syllables. Now, can you balance without with eyes closed? Let's try. Let's try. Close your eyes, please,
Okay.
and balance.
On one leg?
No, it's like this. No, all good. Now, in a minute, I will squeeze your shoulder, and when I squeeze your shoulder, start repeating the word in your head. Don't say it out loud, just in your head, okay? Starting right now, okay? Say it one more time, a little bit louder in your head. Louder, loud. Okay, thank you. I think that this is the word. If not, it's obviously her fault. Now, for the first time, into the mic, please. For the first time, say it out loud. Which one did you choose? Which word? It wasn't the first one you picked. The second one or something. Yeah. Okay, which one was it?
Thunderstruck.
Of course it was. Thank you. You're amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Of course it was, yes. Now, I wanted to perform this trick more than anything else. And 2 years ago, I found a solution. And as a treat for you, I would love to show you how it's done. Now, as I told you, the magician's first step is always take on the perspective of the spectator. So that's the first step. Now, do you remember what I said to her in the beginning? I said, open the page at a random page. Open the book at a random page. What does it mean for her when I say open at a random page? It means somewhere in the middle. Not in the first 25% and not in the last 25%, but somewhere in the middle. And just like that, it isn't 1 out of 180,000 words. It's just 1 out of 90,000 words. Way easier. Yes? Just look at the numbers. Now, if you have taken the first step, the second step is right there. What did I say next? I said, pick a long, interesting word. What does long mean? It means at least 6 characters or more, because everything else looks short compared to that. So just like that, I get rid of 90% of the words. So now we have 1 out of 5,000 words instead of 1 out of 180,000. And the next 2 steps will blow your mind. But I won't share them because it isn't important how the trick works. The question is not how, but when. When will you take the first step to amaze your customers and find your no-way moment? Thank you.
Right, so what do you think of Till's performance?
I thought it was great. I think Till offered a different perspective on something that we think is familiar in terms of magic, and the way that he projected what he does and put that in a business context, it was great. It was funny, it was entertaining, and I liked him a lot, and I really liked what he had to say. Yeah.
Great. Would you recommend him to?
Oh, 100%. I think it was great. I think it'd be a really good addition to any corporate event, as obviously as well as an entertaining factor. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, what you think of the show?
It was unbelievable. So the tricks were fantastic. Just completely blew me away. And loved the story about him pitching his investor and effectively performing a magic trick in the process of pitching his investor that he somehow pulled off magically. No pun intended. Awesome.
So, what do you think of Till's performance?
Oh, it was awesome to have Till here at our sales meeting. You know, I was definitely skeptical of the connection between magic and business and what we're doing here at Bloomreach, but all I can say is walk away obviously super entertained, but more importantly, learn so much about human behavior, about how people learn, about how people sell, about how people get wowed. And I'm wowed right now, and I would recommend Till for any occasion, certainly any kind of business context, totally worth it. Loved every minute of it.
Thank you very much, Till. That was amazing, and that was exactly what you all need to do.